Hi, my name's Greg. I'm from Canada. Today we're going to go into Pro Tools 9 and we're going to demonstrate the configuring of an EQ plugin to function like a large format mixing console EQ section. The console that I've chosen to use is the Mackie 1640i. Let's go in and have a look. Okay, so as you can see, I've opened an EQ within Pro Tools. The one I've selected is EQ3 7-band. Reason being, it comes with Pro Tools. It's free and it has many options. It's a very fully functioning and versatile EQ that everyone has access to who has Pro Tools. First thing on the Mackie is we have a low cut button, also known as a high pass filter, which is this section right here. You want to click this button here, it's already selected, otherwise it will go to a notch filter, so we want the pass filter. On the Onyx, the cutoff frequency is 75 Hertz, and that is at a rate of 18 decibels per octave. So let's set the Hertz. I always just double click and type it in manually. It's really hard to get it right on with the knob. This one's easier though because it goes up in certain amounts. Now remember, 18 decibels per octave. Well, let's instantiate it by pushing this button. 18 decibels per octave means that for every octave below 75 Hertz, the frequencies are attenuated by 18 decibels until they're completely inaudible. Now this type of filter is used generally to remove the lower unwanted frequencies such as rumbles and wind sound. It's generally recommended to put a high pass filter on virtually every instrument except for maybe kick drums and bass guitar and really bassy synths, often even these, in order to clean up the mix a little bit. Next thing is a high shelving filter called the high EQ on the Mackie mixer. So it has a cutoff frequency of 12 kilohertz, and what we'll do is we'll find that over here. Now this would be a parametric, and this button means shelving. Generally we'll keep the Q at 1 for most hardboard mixers, and the frequency was 12, so we'll go ahead and input that manually again. 12,000 actually. And as you can see, if we adjust the gain, it gives it that nice shelf look. Now this type of filter will boost or attenuate the higher end of the spectrum, usually to bring focus to a key aspect of a song or mix. It does things like add sizzle or give an edge to keyboard parts or guitar vocals. Next thing we have is a high mid section. Now it's a parametric EQ, and it ranges on the Mackie from 400 Hertz around here to 800 Hertz, or 8 kilohertz rather, over here. So we'll instantiate that. The center is at about 2 kilohertz, which this one already is set at. And on the Mackie, it can go up and down 15 decibels, it says. So we have the ability to go 18 in this. So again, it's another example of software being a little bit, or having quite a bit more option than a hardware piece. So that one's okay. Generally, for many sounds that are found in this frequency would be female vocals, acoustic guitar, and other higher timbred instruments. Next we have a low mid, which is another parametric EQ knob, and it ranges from 100 Hertz to 2 kilohertz on the Mackie. So we'll use this one over here. It centers on actually 400 Hertz, so we'll change that to 400 Hertz. It moves it over here slightly, and same thing. On the Mackie, actually, on this one, it can only go over as far as 1000. So what we can do, if that's the case, is maybe change the Q a little bit. We'll lower it down to maybe 70, 74, and that will cause our band to reach a little bit farther when we adjust it. There we go. So it's often the case that, or actually within that range of frequencies are typically male vocals and other lower timbred instruments such as like a heavily distorted guitar. And it's often the case that you would use the high and low mid filters in order to remove unwanted frequency resonances to make space for all the important aspects of your mix. Now the last one would be the low EQ. Now this is also a shelving EQ on the Mackie, and the cutoff frequency is set to 80 Hertz. So we'll go over here to this one. Make sure it's on a shelf. Change the frequency to 80. And there we go. Also again, keep the Q at 1. So most commonly used to boost aspects of the low end, such as bass guitar or kick drum, and adds what some might call punch or fatness to a mix. Again, if you move the gain, you can see the shelf there. So there you have it. Now, now that we're done with the settings, we can save it as a preset. In order to do that, we just go up to the top here, click this down arrow, save settings as. It's in the Pro Tools settings box already. You can obviously go through and choose where you want to set it. I'm going to leave it in the default, and we'll call this Mackie 1640i. Save, and we're done.